So I've always had a passion for working with people. And so after about 14 years of being in the working world, I really had a vision that I wanted to be able to venture out, one, as a business owner, to meet that desire of the business aspect, but then also still serving within that human services sector. My organization is United Therapeutic Services, and I am the president and CEO. So the goal of United Therapeutic Services is to strengthen families socially, emotionally, and psychologically. We work with families in the areas of counseling, therapeutic services, some general behavior modification services, and just to strengthen their parenting skills and also to strengthen communication skills between parents and children. So we were recently awarded a grant from the MVP program. We did it under the name of AVA, which is our Anti-Violence Academy. The Macon Arts Alliance served as our fiscal agent. But once we found out we were approved, we then began looking at targeting schools, community groups, community organizations, and things like that to get the actual participants. You know, I was tired of turning on the TV, and every time you turn on the TV, you're seeing another crime has been committed. And the saddening part for me was looking at, one, a lot of those young adults that were creating those. You know, it saddens my heart when I see a 16-year-old who has committed a crime that's probably going to land him or her in jail for the rest of their life. So with anti-violence, we were looking at ways that we could address the violence here in Macon, but not reinvent the wheel. And when we looked at some of the trends of the violent crimes that had been committed in Macon, one of the things that we saw was that a lot of those were occurring between the hours of midnight and about 4 a.m. in the morning. And some of those that happened were were from people or youth as young as age 13 years of age. And so in looking at that, what my co-owner and I looked at was there's obviously a disconnect somewhere within that family foundation, because you think to yourself, why is a 13-year-old on the streets of those wee hours of the morning like that? We're living in a time where the youth of today looks really different from the youth of 15, 20 years ago. And so some of the things that they talk about, some of the things that happen during the course of the school day looks different. And so that too can lead to violence. You know, one of the things that came out in one of our sessions is we had a youth that was being bullied in school. Well, he didn't go home and talk to his parents about it because he didn't want to appear as weak. There could be a lack of efficient parenting in the home. There could be a lack of accountability in the home. You know, sometimes youth and young adults are desperate, and so they're out trying to make quick money. And so why is that? Mom and dad may not be working or have the resources that are needed in the home. We most recently did a cohort where we talked about just rule setting in homes, and surprisingly we discovered more than half of the participants in the room, none of the children had a curfew. You know, none of the families actually sat down and ate a meal together. So those are the things that we address in AVA, is strengthening the home, because we feel like if the home is strengthened, then that will address some of this violence as well. The workshops include job readiness, and then for the youth and young adults, we talk about communication, having open and honest communication with your parents, and understanding the consequences of negative decision making. The hardest part is, I will say still recruitment. You know, like I said, yes, we've gone to events and we've had people to attend. I would like to see more people involved in it. You know, I think that may be one of the challenges. I am really excited to see where it's going to go from here. My hope and aspiration is that it will become a nationally known program. My most rewarding part is when I see families come together, because a lot of times in today's society you don't see that. You know, everyone is not fortunate to be a part of a family.